Good morning, everybody. Good morning. This is Engineer Suraj Singh. Engineer Suraj Singh is speaking from Bharat, India. On this day, May 3rd, 2021, Monday, another day of COVID-19 in our country, Bharat, India. And topic is Civil Field Engineering Designs, Construction Methods, Contacts, AnnexSL, Organizations, Communications, Coordination, Quantity, Quality, and on top of all, COVID-19, a general discussion without topic. COVID-19, we have to we have to deal with it logically, because COVID-19 has converted its age, that is more than 1 year, and it has become child now. It was born 13 months back in our country, and now it has become, you know, twin children, and must be celebrated. It is enjoying because it has become successful, it has become achiever, it has become something we could not even think of. Its quality of working has been very excellent. If you consider quality, I think that COVID-19 is a teacher of working system. It has taught everybody what is professional working. Keep secret everywhere. It did not reveal its secret to 8 billion people till now. Out of 8 billion people, there may be lakhs scientists and doctors, but no one has so far come to a conclusion what is it, what are its construction controls, and what is its engineering, health engineering, or we can say deteriorating health engineering. We have not yet known what is its designation, what is its another designation, what is its further designation, whose member it is. We do not know. I'm not molding anything here specifically. I am just referring to that we people of world, and particularly we people of this country, must learn from COVID-19. We must learn, but we have not learned anything. We have not learned anything. It is our teacher. It has been teaching us, but we are not sincere to learn it. That is very important point. We have not learned it. That's what I say. So we have to be very much clear about this, what we have to learn. It is also very important that we failed to understand our conduct towards COVID-19 impact. World over, people could not understand that. Could be this is God sent, could be it's no disease, could be its warning, or could be that it is an improvement cycle to human being, because human being is spoiled earth. Maybe people don't like this statement that COVID-19 is a professor, or you can say university professor, universal professor. It has come to teach us what is life, how you have to live, and how you have to understand society, how you have to conduct in society. Maybe it has an objective, and that objective is coming gradually, seen that whole world is confused. We are confusing. We, India, Bharat, are confusing leader. We are very much confused. We don't know what it should do. I'm not going to say wear mask, wear this and that. That's very old now. I'm now going to emphasize that I think quality also applies onto our actions towards COVID-19. 19 itself is a natural name given to it by someone, though it was seen only in very small part of 19, but it has got name 19, COVID-19, and we cannot change it now. It has gone, its name, its identity, 19. Maybe you say why I am saying its name 19. Yes, that's true. You may ask this question. Why I am saying its name 19? Because sometimes we have to think a different way. Sometimes we have to think a different way, and that way is that if you observe a record of its working, it is COVID-19, it is very serious. It's very much struggling. It does not listen to anyone. It has got immense power. It delays everything, every ceremony. It delays your life because we lock down, we close our system, and that is what 9 gives. It has authority, it has lead, and it has also trail. That is one. Just I am giving you something to understand what I am speaking about. You may say, no, I am talking in numerology. No, nothing to do with numerology, nothing to do with astrology, and nothing to do with all such subjects. What I am talking is power of soul. I consider one number as authority, as entry, as exit. That's what I consider. Maybe to some it is right, maybe to some it's not right. But what I say, if you don't enter somewhere, or you don't exit from somewhere to re-enter somewhere, life cannot move. 1 and 9 has got certain very bad relation. 1 number stands in our body while 9 number stands somewhere in sky. Well, it has told us what is punctuality, what is sincerity, what is conduct, what is quality, what is system, what is individual, what is product and what is others, what is design and what is construction. This COVID-19 has told us what is performance, what is method, what is time, what is risk, what is cost, what is reliability, what is analysis and what is synthesis, what is thinking, what is contemplation, what is achievement, and after all, what is engineering. If we consider work of COVID-19, like engineering, power engineering, excellent engineering, this means it has learned engineering from universe. COVID-19, let us assume it is a perfect engineer. Can you assume that? It is. It has done destructive engineering for world that we can call. But if I stand as COVID-19, I take its place. I am in lieu of COVID-19. I would say I have done cleansing engineering from world. Destructive engineering and cleansing engineering. What do you think about this? Has it not cleaned whole world? Has it not cleaned brains of people? Has it not cleaned whole bodies? Has it not cleaned your dirt from your mind. All social actions that used to be perfect, that used to be mandatory, have gone somewhere we do not know. Even if people die, relatives are not going there because of COVID-19. If there is marriage, people are not going there. Very limited, very much restricted. And people are under lockdown. People are in home and they say stay home, stay safe. A very, very low profile slogan is appearing. It's like we say in safety, no pain. And no safety, there is pain. Right? If you understand safety, if you use safety, you will not feel any trouble. Same thing here I say. They say stay home, stay safe. Yes, stay home. Stay in your house. Stay in your building and you are safe. Yes, you are safe. But how long? My question is different. If I am really able to understand COVID-19, I don't say that it is visible. Everybody knows it is invisible, but it is visible. It is visible through its actions and results. It's impacting people. People are getting sick. People are leading to death. This means its conduct is known. And if conduct is known, its actions are known, its impositions are known. This means it does exist. So existence is indirectly accepted, justified. This means COVID thinks also. I think so. I say contemplation and thinking. Yes, COVID thinks. I met COVID probably. You may laugh. Yes, maybe. I met. Because it's available everywhere. I could not physically meet it, but mentally, or from my conscious, or from my thoughts, I might have met, and you might have met too. If we stay home and we think COVID won't impact you, I think this is bad thinking. You are not safe at home? Never. Because there have been many cases that people have contracted COVID-19 even at home. This means you are not safe at home because it is now airborne too. And when it is airborne too, your air can enter through gaps between window frames and jams. You got my point? Window edges and jams, there may be some space, say in millimeters, and this can enter. Or when you come out from road to your home, enter, you bring with you something and sneeze in your room or cough in your room. So it stays there for a couple of hours or couple of days. On hard surfaces, it has been noticed that it stays for longer. On soft surfaces, it stays for shorter period. So if it stays on a hard surface, say stone in your home or kitchen shelf or somewhere on walls, there are chances that you are not safe. So saying that stay home, you are safe, yes, I accept that to some extent, partly, but not absolutely. You are not safe even at your home. You are not safe outside home in gatherings. But when there is no gathering, there is no crowd, there is no hustle and bustle, probably you are safe. Why I am saying this? Where there is hot in Delhi, for example, in north of our country, for example, or wherever it's hot, ultraviolet index is up to 11, up to 10, up to 9, up to 8, a good one. We should run away from ultraviolet, but we should not forget that ultraviolet is best treatment for this. Ultraviolet index, I am talking sun rays, the summer have certain ultraviolet, index, and that varies from 0 to 10, but it is exceeding 10 now. It goes to 11, it goes to 12, but consider, let us, it's 10 maximum. Ultraviolet injection you can't get. But if you stand in sun on your roof somewhere, say, or you walk on road which is free, and it is say 8 to 10 index, and you stay there for half an hour to 1 hour, I think this is best treatment. This is best treatment, I call it. So ultraviolet index can be used as a method statement for better performance, to provide resistance to impact of COVID-19. Well, I think this can be something. Injections is there, vaccination is there, that is different. I'm not talking of that. That is another point. But natural treatment is best injection. We should take hot water and we should stand, say for example, if you stand half an hour, if you can't stand 1 hour, if you can't stand 1 hour, walk in sun. I think that's best solution. Take water, walk, take UV index. I think you will enjoy your health even if there is no COVID. So COVID is flourishing, it's thriving, it has grown up now to its children, infant age. It was born 14 months back. Now it's growing, it's enjoying. I saw it enjoying. I saw twins of COVID enjoying in red dress, completely red envelope. No face was seen. They were congratulating each other. Oh, we have won. We have destroyed humanity. We have impacted upon humanity. I should not say destroyed, but they think it's destruction, even part destruction. Okay, fine. You are impacting on humanity. They enjoying and they were quarreling with each other like kids. This means it's complete red color. When beginning I was new. It was pink color. Now generation of COVID has come, and people think it has gone from many countries. No, it has not gone. Forget waves, first wave, second wave, third wave. There is no wave. It is in continuation. It goes sometime for recess, for lunch, for something. So my dear friends, I am speaking in a very interesting style today for COVID. COVID is very quality person. It's a soul of quality. Its quality stays uniformly everywhere. It's a complete system of many systems. It impacts on all and individuals' quality. Its sound quality is of high standard. Its secrets are high standards. It has very much secret clauses and operative secret clauses, just like we do in contract secret clauses. It doesn't tell its seriousness. It doesn't tell its secrecy even to scientists and doctors. It has very good products with it. Different types of numbers it is having. 19 it had. Then now it is 1617. They call it B1617 for Indian equivalent or Indian variant. Like that, there are so many other variants, English variant and African variant and all that there are. I'm not going to say number for that. This means there are so many designs working behind that. And nature can never be understood by ours. We may be highest profile of scientists, maybe whatever. We can't understand nature. We don't know what is secrecy behind nature, how nature is designed, how it's working, how its construction is. So quality is very important. This means we have to learn quality from COVID. It is our professor, how it works. At least we can understand what is meaning of working, what is meaning of profession, what is meaning of quality, what's meaning of system. It has very good system. It is very good secret system. It doesn't tell us about the system. Well, I'm just trying to give you some hints about that. And I am sure that actually in our country, Bharat, India, it has started its work. Till now it was just taking positions, and it took positions in 14 months. In 14 months, COVID-19 in Bharat, India has taken its position, where to stand, where to sit. And just like in cricket we do, or in some other games we do, for COVID-19, playing with nation is a game. It's playing with us. And we don't know who is our player. We don't know what's team. We don't know how many members are there. And what player is cricket game, or it's football game, or it's gilli danda game, or what game it is. But there is one clear point that I think we are first country in world, Bharat, India, that has no quality system, that has no honesty system, that has no sincerity, and that has no alertness. Only country in world which is negative everywhere. We are in all sleeping mode. We have been there in sleeping mode for decades. And that sleeping mode, COVID has come that you get up. That's all it says. I will teach you lesson. Listen to me. And if you don't listen, I will teach you very well. If I consider myself as COVID-19, I will think this way. What you think, I don't know. I have to analyze, but it is already analyzed. COVID is already analyzed what it has to do, and that's what it's doing. It has created a time. It has created time for us where even doctors commit suicide. Doctors and nurses have lost their lives. There is no protection in life. There is no one knowing if somebody is home and lost life. It has happened. Many cases as such. Dead bodies are lying on homes and people don't know about that until decomposition happens, until this offensive smell you feel from home, and then people complain. What is that? That stage has come. Whatever statistics we are getting through news, whatever data we are getting through news about contracting, how many persons have contracted COVID-19, it doesn't matter. That's not real. How many people lost their lives? They made something every day. I think that's also not real. Reality lies somewhere else. First of all, we are not true people. We don't believe in truth. We believe in fabrication. That's our character. That's our quality. We are never sensible. I just know one thing. If we hide something from people, if we don't reveal facts, if we don't reveal reality to people, and if we think that it shall work, yes, hiding shall work until hiding it is. But once it is declared, it's known, that state shall be very difficult for a person who try to hide. Life has one principle. If I want to solve some problem, I have to know problem. And what problem is, how I have to know. I can know only if I know problem, if I understand that. And that is very important point. That is called analysis. What is analysis? To know the structure of a problem is analysis. Analyze. What is problem? Where does it exist? How does it exist? What is its size? What are its parameters? How it is connecting? What is the internal structure? How it is atomized? Or it is chemical or non-chemical? Or it is theoretical or non-theoretical? Or it is natural or not natural? All this we have to understand. Can we break it and understand? And even after breaking, can we reconnect it? Can we assemble it? That is analysis. To know everything of something is analysis. So we have to conduct analysis in life. Maybe everybody cannot understand this. But even if you just solve some numerical, very small numerical, very simple numerical, in that case also you have to analyze, though analysis is done through mind, plus and minus, sum or deduction, multiplication or division, or under root or square root, how we do, that's all process of analysis. So here question is, can we understand analysis of COVID? Though it has been given name COVID, well, this is medical name, and also 19, which is not medical name, but circumstantial name or nature thought, which should be 19. And what I understand, it's working 1, 9. 9 is number of fire, 9 is number of delay, 9 is number of struggle, 9 is number of, you can say, anger, and 9 is number of destruction also. Because when there's fire, there's destruction. and fire can't be stored, can be extinguished only, and we have to extinguish that. That we have not done yet because we have not understood that, and we don't have the firefighting system, ring main system, which can be used for this purpose. And number one says you have to enter exit, you must have authority, or you must be trailing. So it has authority, it's entering everywhere and it's exiting everywhere also. Nobody knows when it exits, nobody knows when it enters. We only say first wave, second wave, third wave, like this. It's very blowing some, it's a high power, highest power of universe now is working over us. So COVID-19 is different. I'm just giving another structure to this type of talk because we have to understand in our way. I'm not relating it to religion. I'm not relating it to some spiritual world, but it is a spiritual world. I can say it's a spiritual world. When we don't know something, our machines cannot know something, or electronic equipment cannot know something, cannot identify something. It's then we leave it to say, okay, let it be. It's natural. Until we know something, we say it's natural, and even science says it's natural, but science never makes anything. So it's that. So my dear friends, don't be happy if data sometimes falls. This data changes every day, and it's not permanent data. Real data is secret. Real data is very much secret, which we shall know. We shall not know. You have to understand this point. Now, I'm not here to deliberate only on this. I've taken enough time, I think. Every day, like about 26 minutes I've taken for this, and this is quite enough. I have now to understand what I'm going to say. I'm going to say, good morning, Mr. Verma. Thank you very much for joining. Now, I'm going to talk about daily talk of, we can say, our subject, that is engineering and construction controls, chapter 5 and chapter 3. Let's say first chapter engineering, and that is, we talked it before, but I like to repeat it because it's very important. That's important, and this must be much reliable, what I say, company or client, Generally I give talk on buildings. It's all building practice, facility plants, petrochemicals generally, because on facilities we have all types. It's complete engineering there, you can say. Of course it's not detailed one, or it's not higher profile, but on plants or facilities we have generally buildings, roads, infrastructure, utilities, and processing trains. You can say generally all practical aspects are covered in plants or in engineering or facilities, you can say, and we have to take into our consideration all this, because without these, you can say, nothing can happen. We have to understand this point. Now, when I say company, it means in plants world, in facilities world, company doesn't mean it is registrar company or company registration or a group of people. Well, that is right, but here I can say owner. In this world of plants, in contracts where I've seen, in facilities, it's called company means owner. Promoter, you may say, it's not company, in fact, like company. And also client and company are equivalent here. Now here client believes from his vast experience that one of the foundation blocks for successful, efficient and cost effective end product facility delivery is quality of detailed engineering and design. Quality of detailed engineering and design, that's the important point here. detailed engineering quality, detailed engineering design. Company or client place a very high importance on contractor selection. Contractor, we may take it inferior way, but fact remains that contractor is key party. It's key party on whatever project we talk of. Practically, without contractor, nothing can be constructed. We may consider ourselves contractor. Client may consider itself as contractor and work without contractor. That is different. But because projects have so many items, sometimes client even doesn't know. So contractor here is not simply a person that takes money or in exchange of money that person does something. Here meaning of contractor is something very different. It's kind of expert. It's a kind of professional party that knows each and every aspect, each and every requirement of project. That is a contractor meaning here. It doesn't mean on ordinary contractor, but this is expert contractor or professional contractor. Selection of it is very important. So we can say contractor selection of international status and internationally recognized. It is detailed engineering and design capability that contractor must have. Detailed engineering and design capability. We cannot simply say construction contractor here alone, because design is also part of construction, because without construction there is no meaning of design, and without design there is no way we can construct something. So we can say selection of contractor is a complete professional process at national and at international level. Detailed engineering requirement is very important. Design capability is a must. It may be directly done by contractor or by employment of a subcontractor, or if contractor has competent in-house capability, that organization of contractor may do it. Now it must have a proven track record. Now proven track record means you have done specialization exercise many times. Only then you can say proven track record you have. So with a proven track record of undertaking and successfully delivering similar projects or some varying projects at a single location under one roof for varying clients or varying projects, you can say. So question is selection of a contractor. So what it says, therefore company or client place a very high importance on contractor selection of an internationally recognized detailed engineering and design capability, subcontractor or competent in-house capability organization with a proven track record of undertaking and successfully delivering similar projects at a single location under one roof. We have to understand this point. It's no commercial game alone. Yes, commerce is there, business is there, money is required, funding is required, but that is not alone. That is based on specialty, that is based on engineering, that is based on science, that is based on technology, that is based on each and every aspect of science and engineering. And engineering, when we talk of, this means application of sciences, application of research, application of designs, application of construction, and application of each and every aspect we consider in science and engineering. Accordingly, as we talked about, meeting such requirements, post-award engineering and design subcontractor shall mobilize his team for project. Now we are talking of subcontractor, design subcontractor, engineering subcontractor. After what is that? We have very mean understanding in our country about contractor or subcontractor. We think, oh, this party is a contractor, we should inferiority treat. That's wrong. Contractor is a professional, and without professional knowledge, contractor cannot be called perfect, expert. If we have to design engineering work, we must have certain professional, and when that professional is awarded some work for design and engineering by some person or company or individual, that's also a kind of contract. That contract is given to engineer for design. This is also contract. You cannot say, oh, contractor is he. No. You may call him engineer, but that party who is employer and that professional who is engineer or maybe architect or maybe someone else, there is a relation established between two by a document, and that document called contract. It may be services contract, or it may be construction contract, or it may be EPC or whatsoever. That is called contract, and contract means a relation established by law, a relation established by charter, agreed by and between both parties, owner and engineer or professional. That is contract. In fact, both are parties to that contract, that work contract or service contract. It may be owner or it may be professional. Both have status of contracting parties. Both are contractors, in fact, in terms of provisions. Once one party has a contract to pay agreed amount, which is called consideration, and other party has to work either in service status or in delivery status of work. Therefore, both are contractor, in fact, but we consider that owner and this is professional to provide service or to provide or deliver certain product. What it says then, accordingly, meeting foregoing requirements, award means post award of contract or post award of work, engineering and design, subcontract shall mobilize. Engineering and design, subcontract shall mobilize its team for project. This means start working for design. Now, company or client shall verify this at time of review of CVs and conducting interviews of key personnel mentioned on pre-qualification document. Now, when we hire someone, professional or someone else, we want to make sure that the party we are going to hire must have certain competency, and that competency means a capability, proven capability that party is going to provide, or this party is going to have key personnel, key position designations who are experts or professionally qualified people, and they have a power, they have a strength, they have consistency or competency. You can say consistency and competency to work on that type of field, that type of project, and deliver successfully in given time. That has to be made sure through studies of CVs that party is going to provide, and we should know from CVs the strength of that party, capability or constructability or designability of that party. And then it's not that alone we depend on those documents, we interfere with them, we confer with them just to make sure that they have capability, and only then we can say, okay, fine, because you are capable, we trust you. And that trust means you have to work for us through this document, that's contract. And such scrutiny verification shall constitute a basis out of various key bit evaluation criteria required for selection of contractor. Such scrutiny means investigation, verification. This is a kind of investigation where we go through CVs and we go through past projects they have carried out, and we interact with them, we talk to them because they are qualified, they are not just lay people, they have got certain degrees, certain experience, And this all scrutiny, this is a kind of verification also we can do. We can make sure that they have done all this. Such scrutiny verification constitute a basis out of various keyword evaluation criteria required for selection of contractors. Now, curriculum vitae shall be reviewed from an overall qualification viewpoint. Qualification does not mean degrees alone. Qualification involves complete experience, expertise, achievements, not only knowledge, achievements, attainments, you can say, deliveries in past. CV shall be reviewed from an overall qualification viewpoint, which means only academic qualification should not be considered on an exclusive basis, but practical specific experience on interdisciplinary spheres integrated with continuous professional development to be considered for acceptance of competency evaluation respecting all proposed key personnel along with their general capabilities including communication skills, efficiency to carry out jobs in field as well as in office environment, demonstrated caliber on project management or organization and about attain know-how using which they would effectively respond to client personnel while prosecuting project coordination activities. It's very long para, but it has got very specific meaning that whosoever they are, those people who are going to work for us, they have already joined us through this qualifications, pre-qualifications, and offer who are interested to work for us on this project, they are interested. So we have to make sure, as I said before, not only they must be academically qualified, but also they should have attainment, they should have achieved attainment in life, in professional life. They have exclusive basis for this project or similar projects. They have got thorough understanding, they have got thorough pragmatism based on experience of every key personnel. They have practical specific experience on technology, on interdisciplinary spheres, which is all coordinational works or activities. Interdisciplinary, where we use this term, this means interactions. Integrated spheres, we can say there are so many spheres or domains or can say disciplines in every project, and continuous professional development is required, means on every project you learn a lot, you get lot input from manufacturers, from product suppliers, and from technologists, from others, and you get into different world, practical world where no professor exists, but you have to learn from work itself. Work is professor there. So this continuous professional development is achieved by everyone to some level and to be further considered for acceptance of their competency evaluation. Means you have to evaluate a competency level, whether or not they are adequate enough, they have enough strength, enough power, enough brain level to find solutions to problems that come in way. And this competency evaluation respecting all proposed key personnel, not one or two, all, and along with their general capabilities, general proficiency levels, general, you can say, interactive capability also, then interactive fields including communications and coordination skills, efficiency to carry out jobs in field as well as in offices, environment. Offices means for purpose of research and engineering, that's we call an office environment, where you have the design work, the research work, and contemplation work, and doing delivering product designs form or in some of the form. Demonstrated caliber on project management or project organization, and about attainment, about what level of attainment they got, what's the know-how using which they would effectively respond to client personnel while prosecuting project coordination activities. Whole, you can say in one line, you can say those you are going to use for your project, they must be thoroughly competent. Simply competency. All is defined competency, because competency is not that easy title, easy requirement. It is complete mechanism you have to produce something which is required qualitatively as well as quantitatively and time wise. Thus, I say engineering being considered a very significant part of a professional engineering project management organization involved throughout life cycle of project, without which all other departments of project cannot move. Now, engineering is a term here which is very wide, which is, I say, very different. It's not alone professional engineering, it's total engineering, I can say, which involves in itself all from conception to delivery and to maintenance or operation. That is engineering which started from imagination. We started from hypothetical stage. We just dreamed something, and when I say imagination means it's dream, artificial dream, it's economical based dream, it is development based dream. It's a dream that gives us impetus how to use natural resources to develop. Then these natural resources which are part of this earth, we have to use them and develop our area, our nation, our society. That's what it means, and that's very important point we have to understand. It's not simple because I am saying you have to accept. No, you have to realize facts yourself. Engineering everywhere, just like I say quality everywhere, engineering exists everywhere. There is no place in world, there is no place in society, there is nothing else everywhere where engineering is not the point. You have no moment in life when you use or your time doesn't stand on any engineering product. You are in home or you are ex-home, you are on road, you are on footpath, you are in WC, or you are in flight, or you are in wherever you are. Engineering supports you. You may not realize that fact, but it works. So engineering is life. You may say engineering is life. If there is no engineering, there will be no life. We can see then engineering being considered very significant part on a professional engineering project, organization or management involved throughout life cycle of project, without which all other departments of projects or disciplines of projects cannot move. So engineering is fundamental formula. You can say it's a term, not to that extent we say professional engineering, but real engineering. Engineering already delivered, and engineering being delivered, and engineering that shall be delivered everywhere. Without my room, I can't sleep, and in rain, you have to come to home. You have to drive a car, it is engineering, and whatever you do, you use WC, that is engineering. You drink water, that is engineering. You eat food, that is engineering, agriculture, engineering based product. And you go wherever you want to go, in one way or in other way, you are supported by engineering. That's an important point. Just like you are supported by health of your body. If you have a good health, you have energy, you can do work or you can sleep, that's up to you. But after all, that is health. And as health is important, engineering is also important. Health and engineering are important terms in two different worlds possible. Without health, you can't do anything, and without engineering, nothing can be done. Now, this requires detailing in such a style. What does it say? Detailing of what? Detailing of every work to go. Detailing of each item to go. That's what it says. Detail of every item to go. Right? So it says This requires, or engineering requires, detailing in such a style that no further major inquiry should be raised by those who work on real deliveries and those site personnel responsible for implementation. Simultaneously, details should be convenient adequately to permit an ease or comfort or buildability, constructability, you may call it buildability or constructability. This should not be hindered. If you say buildability, I have, constructability, I say only I have that, but I should have references. I cannot do on my own. And if I can do on my own, in that case, I'm of course qualified for that. But I have to construct based on certain documents, based on certain information, based on certain detailed information, based on certain working drawings or shop fabrication drawing, or documents like that, written specifications, codes, etc., etc. Those all are called documents. Work documents, you may say, some may call contract documents. If there's a contract, if there's no contract, we have to do ourselves. In that case, these are documents. So engineering detailing applies to them, applies to those proposed activities which are going to be done, and somebody has to do them. So it says this requires detailing in such a style that no further major inquiry should be raised by site personnel responsible for implementation. Simultaneously, details should be convenient adequately to permit an ease or comfort on build ability or construct ability. Now for major inquiries, otherwise during post-construction commencement, required resolutions after details are issued shall consume precious project prosecution time on making decisions and resulting in delay on project delivery milestones achievement. For major inquiries otherwise during post-construction commencement. If you have so many problems on site, technical problems, drawing issues, questions, means you have started work but you can't complete work because of absence of information or coordinated information, or you can say working information, which is required in details, and if there is some error in that or some missing point exists, that resolution must be searched for, and that required resolutions after details are issued, it consumes precious project prosecution time on making certain decisions, and which decisions making time results in delay on project deliveries, and milestones that were required to be achieved are deferred or delayed in general cases, in particular cases both. Contractor shall carry out site surveys. Of course, it is necessary. Contractor shall carry out site surveys to familiarize self with existing installations or below ground services if some, such as pipelines, infrastructures, pipelines, corridors and tie in locations. Whoever wants some job as contractor for some project, after getting invitation, that proposed party or that would be contractor must know about this project thoroughly, must visit site one time, two times, three times, depending on what sort of project is that, what facilities are available, and how shall these contractors use this site or use whatever resources there are or provide resources. All these are very important points, means you have to understand, you have to familiarize yourself of that site. Otherwise, you shall find problems and problems. Yes, problems will be there, but at least you know what is available. You have to make sure what sort of services are running below. There could be pipelines, there could be infrastructure, electrical infrastructure, there could be firefighting infrastructure, there could be some other corridors or services corridors I'm saying, and also many other points which can be discussed everywhere. And this type of survey is also required to verify proposed services and confirm ties in locations, configurations, and to retrieve necessary information. Data or drawings you have to find from relevant sources so that more information is achieved, and also to avoid certain disturbance to services, certain shutdown to services. This survey is very important. It takes time. It doesn't give any measurement of achievement, but survey is survey. So site survey is also required to verify proposed pipelines, routes, and confirm tie-in locations, configurations, etc., and to retrieve necessary information, data drawings, etc. All survey records and database requires to be verified by conducting complete survey of site or full survey of site to contract requirement of contractor's scope of works, which actual survey should form basis of actual design to be approved by engineer or client. Whatever survey as a contractor or as a professional I have to do, these records or database which is available of past surveys must be verified by conducting practical survey of site. We have to make sure whatever survey is available, that is factual one and not fabricated one. And this should be a contract requirement, and even if it's not contract requirement, we have to collect information. That's very important. These surveys may support, and these surveys may be checked, may be corroborated from site. And if it is in contractor scope, that's a must. If it is in my scope as a contractor, it's a must to make sure whatever information available is working information, or it's not just information for sake of information or just collection of pages. Which actual surveys should form basis of actual design to be approved by engineer or client. Survey provided with feed or bid tender document should be treated only for guidance without any imposed responsibility or obliged responsibility of client or engineer. So we have to make sure that these basic design documents, or you can say feed documents, shall be treated only for guidance, and we have to make sure that that information available within that documents is actual one, is perfect one, by making certain checks. It shall be contractor's responsibility to ensure that all relevant documents and drawings available with organization or client at various locations are retrieved in a timely manner so as not to impede progress of detailed design. Contractor is always responsible because contractor has to deliver work. It's not simply that I am a client or simply that I am a professional. When term contractor comes in, means contractor for consideration. Whoever is a contractor, even if I suppose I am there, a design contractor, let us say, or work contractor, contractor means you have to do that. You are a party to do that, and other party is employer. So let us say this way, both are contractors, but employer is a contractor to take responsibility and pay, while contractor is a contractor to do job under scope of work with under whatever contract. This is title or responsibility, this is obligation, and contract is paid for that. Therefore it's responsibility of contractor to ensure that all relevant documents and drawings available with organization or client at various locations are retrieved in a timely manner so as not to impede progress of detailed design. Everything must be available, every detail must be coordinated, and if we don't coordinate these details, we can't do work. And we coordinate means we find variance, we find mistakes, we find errors while we coordinate, and therefore it's not simply investigation, it is a total study of that item or many items or whole unit. We have to study that from available material or from thoughtful material or designs. What should it be? Particularly when we are high profile contractor like EPIC or EPC, where these requirement documents you must make sure is over, or you may need more documents, which then it's your responsibility to draw and design these documents for purpose of work, which is actually part of coordination engineering. It's very much important. We have to do that at thorough level, not the superficial level, and keep in mind that I have been given this detail, so this detail is responsible and not myself. On such high profile projects, we need academically and experienced people, and that's why CVs are important. So if there is an error, that professional person who is employed there can come to know by application of mind that there needs more information, or whatever is available is not correct, or we can say that we can study that. So it shall be contractor's responsibility to ensure that all relevant documents and drawings available with company or client at various locations are retrieved in a timely manner so as not to impede progress of detailed design. Now all say I continue this study. Yes. Now say all records or as-built drawings, all records or as-built drawings necessary for purpose of coordination or practically interfaces, all records or as-built drawings necessary for purpose of coordination or practical interfaces criteria should be requested to be raised, issued by relevant authority according to plant requirement, in support of which engineer client shall issue relevant applications, documents for reference to future authorities. It's a simple statement, but it's very much practical statement. We cannot simply attack some site. Attack means not offensive attack. When I call attack, means attack to start work. We generally call this attack in some form. You have to attack this project, this building or this work. Why are you sitting? Why don't you attack this? This is in plan, but you are unable to do that because you are a professional and you must have certain information about this area where you are going to work. When you start excavation, you have to make sure that area is free from any utilities running. Particularly, you have to make sure that is free, and you cannot simply assume that, you cannot simply imagine that. You have to make sure logistically, logically, and by certain references. If it is a standard one, if there are certain records, we must get those records. Records can be available with public bodies, statutory bodies, or maybe with someone else, as indicated in your documents. Who is responsible? or you may know yourself who is responsible. There could be certain utilities services, building services, or other services that are running beneath through this area, which you must know beforehand, and that can be known only if it is organized way. Thus, departments or bodies of ministries who must have those records, those documents with them, and everybody has a right to claim copies of those by payment and get this record if it's not a part of your contact record. And if it's a part of contact record, fine, or it can be made a part of contact record. So you have to be very much capable about that, and it should be this way that when you get some job, you have to excavate something or you have to do something else. Before doing that, you must have collected certain information from competent body, legally capable body or statutory body, whosoever is there, who deal with such services or who deal with such records. These records are past works details. We call them as-builts. You know that. As-built documents or record whatever actual. It's a practice, international practice, that you must get those documents. And if there are no documents, that body may give you clearance that there is no such record. And you must have those records, which would become, you can say, indicator for yourself that which services run below that area, or whether no services exist there. And that document, or by method of application to those statutory bodies, authorities, you can request those documents because of your contract, or you may get some request letter from your client or engineer addressed to those statutory authorities in relevance to your contract, and you may get those by payment or by whatever rules, command. You may get those documents, and you may know what problems do exist. And if there is no problem, then simply you can say, I'm going to start programming for excavation, plan for excavation. It should be safe. And if there are some services which say no, you have to wait. I am existing here. I am electrical services, high voltage cable, or I am water services, or I am some other services, most important services that may impact on your plant or something else. So that information you must have. And even after having that, you have to use your manual excavation method or hand excavation method to make further sure its vistas. Only then, once you are free, you have to request those departments what to do with these services which you have got here. They would advise you what to do, preserve that or shift it timely, then later on put it back. So that's where record drawings or as-built works or search for data works. So all records or as-built drawings necessary for purpose of coordination, practical interfaces. Criteria should be requested to be issued by relevant authority according to plant requirements, in support of which engineer or client shall issue relevant application documents for reference to statutory authority. Now, engineering shall also involve formal endorsement, upgrade of feed, including design optimization, detailed engineering applications, process engineering, procurement processes, prosecutions respecting various installations during construction phases, commissioning, and all other engineering works that contractor need develop for required designs, detailed definitions, procurement, supply, construction, installation, testing, pre-commissioning, commissioning, startup, initial operation, maintenance, and handover of facility. Whatever feed we got in beginning, or a small document you may call it, because it directs designers what to do, we must have that, and it must be certified, must be endorsed, and there may be required changes to that are permissible. Upgrade of feed including designs, optimization. There may be some design in beginning, but later on it can be revised because of better use of material or resources. It can be called design optimization. That design doesn't mean whatever you think is right. No, it should be in consonance to requirement. It should be used in a better way. Maximum optimization must be done, and optimization means all materials that are going to be used must work perfectly to certain level. It doesn't mean you one material works for 100%, other works for 20%. That's not called optimization. I'm ready to lose 6% if it works better on other activities, other materials. So detailed engineering applications which are called detailed engineering applications, are time effective, cost effective, or you can say risk effective, and these are human resources effective. Everything is required on detailed engineering applications. It's not simply application, it's delivery, you can say, a kind of delivery on site. So detailed engineering applications, it is during construction phases. Detailed engineering applications, process engineering. Process engineering is a technical word, it's a technological engineering actually. Process means technical flow, technological flow from one vessel to other, or one machine to other, one equipment to other. That's process engineering. And procurement process also. Procurement is very much part of construction, very much part of engineering, because procurement is time consuming and it is detailed based. If we don't have details from feed to work of designs, and you can say procurement engineering becomes very difficult because it's a perfect process. It's a perfect way based on detailed designs, based on detailed specifications, and specification must be a practical specification, not imaginary one. Those materials which are available in market must be known, and only from those or otherwise from specific order you have to find, which shall take much more time nowadays. Therefore, whatever engineering detail we have, that must be competent, that must be related to procurement, easy procurement. And procurement means whatever products are available. If you depend on that, that's better one. But if there are products which can't be available, which requires to be manufactured, it happens in some vessels cases, in machines cases, or some other non-common cases where you have to depend on procurement, and it relates to time, and it's a cost, and it relates to requirement on top of that. This can say procurement processes, prosecutions respecting various installations. There is no one, there is no two, there are hundreds of installations to be done on such projects. Technical, mechanical, electrical, and mechanical is most dominated. We have to be clear about that. Procurement process, prosecutions respecting various installations, whatever installations are there, mechanical, electrical, civil, or others. During construction phases, installations are part of construction as well. There is electrical work, mechanical work, structural work, or some other work, whatever. So that's part of work. Installation, various installations during construction phases, commissioning, and all other engineering works that contractor need to develop. It's very important for all those that contractor need to develop for required designs, detailed definitions, procurement, supply, construction, installation, testing, pre-commissioning, commissioning, startup and initial operation, and maintenance on handover of facility. So we can read this paragraph in very short like this given here. Engineering shall also involve formal endorsement, upgrade of feed including design optimizations, detailed engineering applications, process engineering, procurement processes, prosecutions respecting various installations during construction phases, commissioning and all other engineering works that contractor need develop for required designs, detailed definitions, procurement, supply, construction, installation. Then you can say here installation, testing, pre-commissioning, commissioning, startup. Again I read because this is very important one. Startup, initial operation, maintenance and all. Engineering shall also involve formal endorsement, upgrade of feed, including design, optimization, detailed engineering applications, process engineering, procurement, processes, prosecutions respecting various installations during construction phases, commissioning and all other engineering works that contractor need, develop for required designs, detailed definitions, procurement, supply, construction, installation, testing, pre-commissioning, commissioning, startup, initial operation, maintenance and handover of facility. Contractor shall certify on tender that every criteria mentioned within feed documents has been considered while designing project and pertinent costs covering all such requirements included within bid price. Yes, it's you have to declare actually the certification is required that whatever is included within the specifications or whatever specification will be prepared for or whatever details are available or shall be accepted also, and we have to take responsibility of that. It's a responsibility that contractors has to take for all such, and has to certify that when we did this job, when we constructed this met all requirements on this contract or on these documents, and nothing had gone without requirements or sub requirements, and feed documents have been considered while designing project and pertinent costs covering all such requirements included within bid price. That's an important point. Means you cannot just say I have not complied with this, and if you did not comply with this requirement, you should have taken permission prior to that, and this is not going to happen, or this is my error. You can say this is a variation, this is a variation of time, variation of cost, and this can't be done easily. We are not used to that, and that's why it says that there is a deficiency in this. Now, all deviations should be explicitly detailed, comprehensively for an easy understanding. That's also a very important point. So an important point, and say that all deviations should be explicitly detailed. I'm going a little slow, but explanation very important that if you don't got it. All deviations should be explicitly detailed comprehensively for an easy understanding. Deviations of what? Means there may be some errors, there may be some coordination. Whatever is given in one drawing, there could be something else in other drawing or other documents. And we may say that we have to understand it comprehensively or detail that comprehensively. Otherwise, there is always misconception, there is also error, chances of error are high. So if you are drawing documents and other documents, there may be various drawings for one item, there are detailed, there may be various specifications. All this should be clearly, comprehensively understood. Otherwise, may cause errors. And alternative proposal should also be elaborately detailed for engineers or client consideration. Though it's simply one-line statement, but it's a very important statement. When I say coordination, What does it mean? Coordination should be done to find such problems. Sometimes drawings take time, months to be drawn after designs, and there may be many drafts drawing professionals on that project or related to special project. They want to do by their own understanding because they know methods there. So it's not simply one document I can depend upon. You have to study like we study our syllabus. We have to study all documents on project to make sure that each and every detail is having working relations with other details. Even a single mistake or single oversight would lead to hazards of sight. Therefore, it's important that we should be available in working engineering office all time to make sure there is no deviation. A continuous working of drawings professional may be working, but deviations can't be accepted. If there are deviations, these must be corrected before work is done, or else we have to do work again. That's not accepted. That's waste of time, waste of money, waste of resources, until there is compulsion. At design stage, contractor shall be bound to apply all field requirements and if possible upgrade it during design process to avoid design revisions later. It's very important point here we discuss. It's fitting in. So we start fan for 5 minutes. So what it says that all deviations shall be explicitly detailed comprehensively for an easy understanding. An alternative proposal should also be given or detailed elaboratively for engineers or clients' consideration. This is also a very important point because when you are having freedom to do same work, same project with different designs, in addition to what designs are available or what guidance is there, feed is there, and there is some kind of restriction on that. And if you got freedom to propose your own system, your own design, and that's what where contractor is assumed to be super specialist who can do much better design than whatever is done by client's engineer. And there's no restriction to that because this is engineering. If within same cost or better cost, you can say saving of cost, or with better use of technology, with better material inclusions, we can say that I can produce you better design, I can do you design which is much better than this, or much better pro environment, or which can lead to saving of construction time, or which can lead to economizing your life cycle of project, or whatever you can call it. In some way it is better in production capacity, or some way it is better in this capacity or that capacity. Procurement is better in this case, or maintenance better in this case. There can be not one, not two, but many considerable criteria we have to think of, and we can then say, okay, this is alternate design, and alternate design is not a bad idea, it's a good idea that must be considered at every point. There should be no question of ego. If contractor is a professional one, contractor is expert of that design or for that type of project, we can accept that there's no harm in requiring alternate design in addition to design that has been published. So we can say at design stage, contractors shall be bound to apply all feed requirements and if possible upgrade it during design processes to avoid design revisions later. It's also a very important point. At design stage, you have to you have to follow feed. That's important. Feed, which we call front-end engineering design. Those requirements must be followed. They should be upgraded also. If during design processes some revisions are done or something else has happened, we must be having an alternative to that one. We can serve it better than past years or past days. And we think that you can't trash something good, something better. If you can upgrade your feed to achieve more better results, design process is ongoing, and we think that if we do it now, it may not import some problem in future but import better solutions. And I think at design stage, feed can be modified and design revisions may be avoided at later stage, because revisions, these changes, you can say, may not hamper work. Now these design processes shall require issue for information designs during processes. Say design stage contract shall be bound to apply feed requirement and if possible upgrade it during design processes to avoid design revisions later. Now these design processes require issue for information design during processes, while final drawings to be issued approved for construction, issued or approved for construction, IFC or AFC. Generally we call them for construction, means no need ask further. If it is issued for construction, means you can do work on site until you get revision. And if you get revision, you have to try to revise what you have done. So these design processes require issued for information designs during processes, while final drawings to be issued for construction or approved for construction. Design shall include drawings covering all disciplines. You cannot say only one discipline is to be designed. All disciplines are required to be designed. Design shall include drawings covering all disciplines. Final specification applicable to all disciplines of project, bills of quantities, if so required, or other various categories of documents required to be drawn to facilitate design submissions. It's not simply structural design, it's total design, structural design, architectural design, services designs, machine designs, foundation designs, each and everything we can say it contains. Design shall include drawings covering all disciplines. It's all disciplines, means not one discipline alone. If it is architectural design, it should have structural design, it should have engineering design. It could be like that. So will emphasize discipline include designs covering all disciplines, final specifications applicable to all disciplines of project, but all disciplines of project, bills of quantities, if required, or other various categories of documents required to be drawn to facilitate design submission. So design means all documents in all disciplines, including the specifications. Even though BOQ is not valid for that purpose, but it's also included for guidance. Then all documents required to be drawn, and it's not because it's for you, it's a project, it's for those who would work on site in summer or other way. It's very important for them as well. So contractor shall start from engineering documents supplied by client, contained in feed design package, and would further develop designs to achieve contract objectives and requirements. However, contractor acknowledges that feed design package does not define work in full details. I again read this. It's a very important one. An important one from this point of view, that point of every point of view. Contractor shall start from engineering documents. You have to start your engineering documents supplied by company, organization, client, containing feed in feed. Your feed may be good one, is giving complete details. You have to start from that to produce your engineering documents. Whatever is given in feed, that must be followed. Otherwise, you know what happens. Contract shall start feed engineering documents supplied by contractor company or client, containing feed design package, and would further develop design to achieve contract objectives and requirement. However, contractor acknowledges that feed design package does not define work in full details. You know that feed is not working design. Feed is just a direction. Feed is just an instruction that you should follow this, and you should do your job for us within this confinement, if this confinement doesn't play with people. So contractor shall start from engineering design documents supplied by organization or client, and all necessary. Then you can say design in feed is not working design. You have to develop your working design. You have to develop your basic design as well, wherever it is required, because this is absolute requirement. You have to find that design in market is available in form of machines or equipment, and you have to do everything or designs. And then you may say that you are not designer, but you are a business operation. It's like that. Contract shall consider feed only as a guide document for clients' intended requirement, and therefore fully develop project from concept, visual to completion, delivery accordingly. Contract shall consider feed only as a guidance document for clients' intended requirement, and therefore fully develop project from concept, visual to completion, delivery accordingly, so that project specifications are satisfactorily met at end of project execution. Let me see how much is done. This is okay. I have many points in how it's quite long one. It's quite long one. 45 points here. So let me have 10 minutes. I just come back. I put it in little this one so that you can have your own view for 10 minutes. I'll be back. It's very important one point. I'll be back in 10 minutes. Go on terrace and come back. Just follow this. Sorry, we have here. So we can say we are here. Say all deviations you can say here. Sorry, a little late I was. I'm sorry if I felt it something, but there's a necessity I had to go. No issue. Says contract shall certify intent of the average criteria measured feed documents has been considered while designing project and partners. Cost cooking falls as requirements including bid price. You can say we are the design stage. This will over. Now at design stage, contract shall be bound to apply all feed requirements and if possible upgrade during design processes to avoid design revisions later that we have already talked of. And these design processes shall require issue for formation design during processes, while final drawing shall be issued as issued at construction, and design shall include drawings covering all disciplines. Final specifications applicable to all disciplines of project, but bill of quantities, etc. Quantities shall start from engineering documents supplied by company, client, contain feed design package, and would further develop design to achieve contract objectives and requirements. However, contractor acknowledges that feed design package does not define work in full details. That's okay. A contract shall consider feed only as a guidance document for client's intended requirement, and therefore fully developed project from concept visual to completion delivery accordingly, so that project specifications are satisfactorily met at the end of project execution. Very important point here. That's point 25. It says it's linked to point 24. Contract shall start from engineering documents supplied by company, contained in feed design, that is engineering document, whatever is given in feed design package, and contractor has to further develop to give final shape, working shape to those feed principles, so that it will further develop design to achieve contract objectives, or you can say scope of contract. This feed is a basis. Its basis how to design, what to design, what's procedure of design, and what is linked to contract objectives or contract scope. Both must have certain consonants, means both are certain working relations, means whatever is given in feed, and that's not simply blank. It has got certain relations to expected objectives of contract scope of work and what's required for that. But contractor must acknowledge that feed design package does not define work in full details. If there is some more requirement which feed doesn't provide, then contractor, being professional, has to take its own competency to use it, has to bring back to feed or make a part of feed further considerations of those pending objectives or pending criteria for objectives. Feed shall guide contractor about requirement, client's intended requirement, and therefore full development of project is contractor's responsibility, and fully developed project from concept visual to completion delivery accordingly. Project specifications are satisfactorily met at end of project execution, and we can say that project has been done according to project specifications that generally we certify as engineers. But it's not simply specifications, it is complete documents. Specifications is only part of that. It's all drawings, all paid, whatever is given. Even sometimes technology also relates to that. That can be said referring technology included in, which was not available before, so that project specifications can be called met satisfactorily for purpose of project execution or implementation or prosecution. Contractor shall ensure maintainability criteria, maintenance philosophy and spare parts philosophy. One is maintainability criteria, means project is to be maintained. Maintenance philosophy, how to maintain, description of that. And spare parts philosophy, provisions are fully considered. Spare parts philosophy, I thought to understand what spare parts we're talking about. We are not talking about civil spare parts, here we are talking about mechanical spare parts. Whatever vessel or equipment or machines we are supplying on contract for purpose of processing on APC, means there should be certain condition that so many years use or so many % of spare parts must be delivered along with machines, because at time of requirement we can't import them. It should be available with us. Maybe after 1/4 duration of that machine working or 1/2 duration. At that time we won't remember where parts are, what was specifications, so it's better to keep in certain box with machine those spare parts which can be used later on if certain spare parts breaks, and we can use these spare parts. The contractor shall ensure maintainability criteria. This is maintainability criteria. The machine should not stop, production should not stop. Maintenance philosophy, how to maintain is you must use spare parts and you must have same technology. Maybe there's update on technology later on and this machine becomes obsolete, and when it becomes obsolete its parts may not be available, and therefore spare part philosophy, how many % spare parts you must have delivered. That spare parts philosophy provisions are fully considered within development of detailed design from field. Maintainability shall not be considered up to end of contractual period only. No. Maintainability shall not be considered up to end of contractual period only when final handover is made, but also must include facility life period. Maintenance philosophy to permit optimization of maintenance cost. Generally life of such projects may be 30 years. So it says maintainability may be, your maintenance may be contracts maybe 2 years or 3 years post construction, but you have to think of whole life of project. So maintainability shall not be considered up to end of contractual period, but also when final handover is made, as well as must include facility life period. Maintenance philosophy to permit optimization of maintenance cost, means in original contract itself you have to provide some item that you have to provide. The contract has to provide so many % of spare parts, and these are spare parts. Or if you have no names, then whatever names these would have, all spare parts which are required to be replaced at certain time of project must be made available. For maintenance philosophy to permit optimization of maintenance cost, because at that time first of all this spare part may not be available, and even if it's available it may be very expensive, or it may be design compatibility, because new type of spare might succumb by that time. So designs that require continuous heavy maintenance costs are not considered good. Designs that can be installed on fast track basis as well as that require reasonable regular maintenance cost are considered suitable. Designs that can be installed on fast track basis, fast track basis, as well as that require reasonable regular maintenance costs are considered suitable. Designs should be based on consideration of sustainable development to a maximum extent feasible. Means we cannot simply pull up something for future without considering that it may be required that time or may not be required, or there may be some design change itself thoroughly. So simply keeping everything forever is also not suggested unless it is mandatory or it is service requirement. So we can say designs that require continuous heavy maintenance costs are not considered good. So you must have certain good designs where maintenance cost is reasonable. Designs that can be installed on fast track basis as well as that require reasonable regular maintenance cost are considered suitable. So when you have some spare parts, you won't have to buy that spare parts after installation of 10 years of that project, and maybe that time that spare part not available, or it may have some design changes. If you have that spare part with you, you can fix that on the machine, and for which all record must be available, and people know which designs are for what. Then we can say design that can be installed on fast track basis which require reasonable regular maintenance are considered suitable for saving shutdown for long or for saving better deliveries. Of course, upgrade can be done, but that requires some advanced solutions. Only then that can be done. Design should be based on consideration of sustainable development to a maximum extent possible. You know what is sustainable development. Whatever we have today, it should not finish tomorrow. For new generation to come, they must know that this was available for us. Sustainable development refers to global meaning. Global meaning which communicates for certain construction process that should be explored in such a way that resources utilized on its production must not harm nature, must not harm further future resources. Availability for future generation use and all such adopted processes should be pro-environment. I read again. Sustainable development refers to its global meaning, which defines, communicates for certain construction process that should be explored in such a way that resources utilized on its production must not harm nature, must not harm further resources of future which would be available for future generation, and all such adopted processes should be pro-environment. Environment and products are very much related. Product that we have today must be environment free. That should be a direct relation. But it doesn't work actually. It doesn't work. Sustainability we call is sustainable, but are we sustainable ourselves? Or we are making products, manufacturing products that are sustainable? Already we have crossed this limit as far as plastic is concerned. We have made our life on lithosphere unsustainable. You go everywhere and find crops of plastic like situation. Everywhere you are growing plastic, everywhere. on sea beaches or on village sites. Everywhere we can say there is no place. Sustainability means, first of all, we have to think of environment, that my product does not encounter environment. It does not oppose environment. Just for sake of money, I cannot say yes, it is right. No. Whatever we do today, it should be in line to environment. If we go oppose, we will oppose our lives. We can say today whatever we do should be environment friendly, should be in consonance to environment, and whatever we save for future, that should also be in line to future requirement. We should have direct vision of. You cannot say in 10 years this will happen. No, nothing changes in 10 years. Yes, there may be some indication, but it takes many decades for changes. So we should have continuation for that as well. You can take many examples that we should not harm our future or future resources. Water, for example, is very scarce these days. You can say air, of course we have spoiled it. It has become unsustainable. Ozone layer has become, you can say, adulterated, and also we can say air on earth is not that much warranted. It's not that much warranted. Sustainable development refers to its global meaning. Global meaning which defines, communicates for certain construction process that should be explored in such a way that resources utilized on its production must not harm nature. Resources we explore in such a way as resources utilized on such production must not harm nature, must not harm future resources, availability for future generation, use, and all such adopted processes should be held. We can also say that, again I speak this sentence, sustainable development refers to global meaning which defines or communicates for certain construction process that should be explored in such a way that resources utilized on its production must not harm nature, must not harm future resources, availability for future generation, use, and all such adopted processes should be in pro-environment. It is in undertaking detailed designs, contractor shall conduct all necessary geotechnical and geophysical surveys to ensure connection to existing phase installation are correct. Geophysical surveys to ensure connection to existing phase installations are correct. Geotechnical surveys shall include stratigraphical determination, stratigraphical or strategical graphical. You can say, guys, consider every strata a layer. There is changes everywhere. These layers are not, I think, very good except for civil engineers. Geophysical data sources to ensure connections to existing phase installations are correct. Geotechnical surveys shall include stratigraphically determination, stratigraphy determinations, soil parameters, properties, tomography. We can say geotechnical surveys shall include stratigraphy determinations, soil properties, tomography, seismic properties of soil, electrical properties of soil, and whatever expected to be investigated from plant installation viewpoint. Geophysical surveys shall include area terrain investigation and location of various landmarks, water bodies, etc. that are significant from design viewpoint. We'll see just a minute if I can find a file which is very important one for this. Let me see if I can find that file. That's a point, soil chemical reaction. No, this is not there. Let me see where it is gone. I'm just waiting for file to come. Let me see if I can find that soil investigation file to share with you. Its reference is very important. I think it's not opening. Come on, if you want to open, my dear. Come on, open it. It's not. It should come now, I think. There is some problem, is it? No, it's not coming. Where is this? Let me see where is this. I'm sorry, gentlemen, just to find it back because I lost this. Where is this? Where are you? Oh yeah, I don't know. I'm not finding that. I'm sorry, it was there available. And sometimes waste time, VQ management. I forget where it was. Again, I forget. Management documents. What's that? By mistake, I forgot it again. Career photos. It's not being shown here. I don't know what happens to me sometimes. I feel a lot. I'm not finding that file. Strange. Plants. I don't know what happens to me. I forget why I forget all the time. I'm bad presenter, I think. I'm very bad presenter. I'm a bad presenter, I'm sure. Let me see where I can find it. I can find it here, I'm sure. Let me see where I can find it. I don't know. The soil report is missing again. I know how it's missing. I'm sorry I'm wasting your time. Chemical reactions and facility petrochemicals. Resources. Using resources, BS code is right. Soil initiation report. Oh my god, I got it. Sorry when I waste your time. Got it again. So let us share. Luckily I got it. Luckily I got it now. So I have here some files to close better. If I close this file, I think there is no file to close. This we are discussing. So this is what I am discussing with this file is journal and facilities, and we can say here this file is very important one from point of view very important file. I had gone to level of this last time. This is about soil investigation, about laboratory testing. What was done on that side is given. I'm sorry. I think I put a fan. Maybe it's a problem for me. That's the problem. Yeah, it's a problem. Put on fan, please. So it is groundwater cavities here, and it is general discussion for choice of suitable foundations. And let us see then consideration of settlement, consideration of bearing capacity, choice of type of foundation, and then you can say conclusions and recommendations, tank foundations and hydrostatic testing, allowable bearing pressure for shallow foundations like that, and also soil design parameters. And this is actually a table that I like to show you, which is a very important one, just for purpose of says allowable bearing pressure for different areas at different depths and for different widths. Now this is a borehole lumber BH12 like that, foundation depth, foundation depth, and then design SPT value, subgrade material. See, this table I am trying to show you means how these reports, parameters, collections are arranged. Net allowable bearing pressure in kilogram per centimeter square for footing width, modulus of subgrade reaction kilogram per centimeter cube, modulus of elasticity E kilogram per centimeter square, shear modulus G kilogram per centimeter square. If this goes on moving for all boreholes, 28 boreholes I remember in this case. So let's go just to see how it is arranged. Let's see this. It says foundation depth 1 meter, 1.5 meter, 2 meter, 3 meter, 4 meter. Now, design SPT value in this case, let us say at up to 1 meter, it is 15 blows. SPT value is 15 blows. And you can say that 1.5 meter to 2 meters, it is 20. Then you can say up to 3 meters this is 40, and 4 meters it is 45 in this BH borehole. Similarly in this BH different one, in both a different one, like that. So this material in this range up to 4 meter is being called sand with silt. Sand with silt content are different possibly, or sand percentages. When it says 15 SPT and when it says 20 SPT, both are different. 40 and 45, they are also different. So lowest is 15, this means 15 blows to penetrate that soil, and this 20, which is stronger one, more resistance it gives for penetration, and then 40 and 45. Here sand with silt, because silt is cementing material in this case. Now there is no silt in this case, only sand. This 15 goes back to 10, 20 is raised here to 25, then 40 comes down to 30, and 40 is 40. Means sand like this. Let us first read what note is given here. A net allowable bearing pressure value of 1.5 kilogram per centimeter square for design of isolated footings or stiff footings, and value of 2.5 kilogram per centimeter square for design of raft foundation on thick engineered fill, 1.5 meter or above, and That's a point here we have to understand. What does it mean? Says 2.5 kilogram per centimeter square for design of flat foundation on thick engineered fill, which is 1.5 meter and above. Engineered fill are recommended. Net allowable bearing pressure value of 1.5 kg per centimeter square or 15 tons per meter square for design of isolated footings, stiff footings, and value of 2.5 kg per centimeter square or 2 tons or 25 tons per meter square for design of flat foundation on thick engineered fill 1.5 meter and above. Tolerable total settlement is for isolated. Tolerable total settlement for isolated stiff footing is 2.25 mm. For raft is 50 mm. In case of stiff footing or isolated footing, tolerable settlement is assumed 25 mm, whereas for raft it is 50 mm because raft is more balanced. Modulus of subgrade reaction was calculated considering 25 mm settlement and factor of safety 3. Above net allowable bearing pressure may be increased by 30% for all constant loads such as wind, seismic, or short-term live operating loads. You have to understand what these comments, what these notes speak. Is 25 mm acceptable settlement for isolated foundation, for stiff foundation, 50 mm for raft foundation. This is point number 1. Bearing capacity is 15 tons per meter square and 25 tons per meter square. When you consider ordinary footing is 15 kg per centimeter square per meter square, and this may be 2.5 to 2.25 tons per square meter for raft foundation. Above thick engineered fill. Settlement is 25 and 50 mm and modulus of subgrade is 3. That is modulus of the subgrade reaction was calculated considering 25 mm thick settlement and factor of safety 3. This allowable bearing pressure may be increased to 20%. So point here is what we consider that here we know nature of soil, what soil it is. Then this is net allowable bearing pressure kilogram per centimeter square for footing width. This means if there is difference in footing width, there is a different bearing pressure. 1 meter means then 2 meter, then 3 meter, and then raft size. The smaller size means more bearing pressure and shorter size means less bearing pressure, and that's what it says. And raft size is higher, means if 1 meter width of footing, pressure is reasonable, starter one, but it's 2 meters, it's reduced one, to some extent reduction, maybe 10%. So for example, it's saying 1 meter, this allowable bearing is 2 meters, and this is 1. This point you have to understand. Now, hold on please. So we can say shorter dimension in isolated footing gives better bearing pressure, and as dimensions go on increasing widthwise, it is reduced. For example, 1 meter shorter dimension gives 1.2 here and 2 meter gives 1. This means about 20% difference here, no, 10%, and here 1 goes to 0.9, another 10%, but raft size it increases. It says in place of 1.2 it is 1.5, about you can say 20% increase, or you may say 25% increase. Same way, if it is 1 meter width, here it is in case of SPT value 20, it is 1.6, in case of 2 meters 1.3. Reduction is there, and then in 3 meters further reduction, but the raft size increases. Similarly, if you can say SPT size, SPT value is 40, it is 3.2 for 1 meter, 2.6 for 2 meter, and 2.4 for 3 meters, but raft is 4. So we can deduct from this that first of all we have to take into consideration SPT value, and that is valid for sand salts. Also you can say SPT value, which is important one. This is standard penetration test, and number of blows for standard penetration for standard size, which means higher number of blows means higher value of SPT, and higher number of blows means higher value of bearing capacity, bearing pressure, and lower size of width means lower bearing pressure. I mean higher bearing pressure. If lower size 1 meter, it's higher than if it's 2 meter for independent footings or for strip footings. That point we have to consider. Higher size means if you increase size of footing, bearing pressure shall be reduced by few percentages, say 10 to 15 maybe, it depends on. But raft, if you use, bearing capacity shall increase. This table tells that, and that's fact also. Also you can say modulus of subgrade reaction, kilogram per centimeter cube, that is modulus of subgrade reaction. Here in first case let us say 0.9, and also then increases depending on SPT value. It goes on increasing. You can say if SPT increases, it increases, say for example SPT is 15, it is 0.9. If SPT is 20, it is 1.2. If its SPT is 40, it is 2.4, and SPT is 45, it is 2.7, and also if SPT is 10, it is just 0.6. In 25, 1.5, in 30 it is 1.8, and 40 it is 2.4. So we can say design SPT says 15.9, that's not even 10% less than that. 0.6, 15 into 0.6 is 9, so it is 0.6, 60% of this, not 60%, 6%. 0.9 it is, 10% is 1.5, so it is 6% of this 0.9. If 20 is there and 6% is 1.2, this means SPT value gives 6% modulus of subgrade reaction value. This means kilogram per centimeter cube, that is modulus of grade reaction. 15.6 is 0.9, 26 is 1.2, 46% is 2.4, 45.6 is 2.7, 10 again 0.6, and 10 again 0.6 because 6%. But 10 is, how can we do it? 10, 15 gives 0.9, okay. 15 gives 0.9, not 1. How it can be 6%? Yes, it is 6%. 20 gives 6%, that is 1.2. Because 10 is 2 per. 10% is 6%. Then 10 is 6% is, it's 0.6, 25 is 6%, 1.5, 36 1.8, 46% is 2.4. Again it repeats. So we can say 6% relation in this table of value of SPT, that is modulus of subgate reaction, modulus of elasticity E, that is kilogram per centimeter square, because modulus means stress over strain. Stress is kilogram per centimeter square and strain is length, change in length. Change in length, so kilogram per centimeter square, this change in length is both unit change in length over original length. So that is no unit, kilogram per centimeter square is that. Means static and dynamic both are there. And we can say in this case number 1, design SPT value is 406, that is 406, and dynamic is 711. 449, that is static value, and dynamic is 786. It's 553968. Can we get some relation here? That we have to understand. 406 and 711, 449 and 786, 553 and 968. And shear modulus G is kilogram per centimeter square. Static is 1.3, and I think it is, what percentage it is? 153 is 1/3, 13 something, for let's say 40%. No, okay, we just check it. Let me now, I will just see means how it works. That is important point. I'll just opening some Excel file for my use, not for your use. Just I want to see immediately means how it works. What does it tell me? How it works is 406711. I write in there 406711, 406711, and I also take another value here. It says 449786, 786, 449, and I take one more value just to make sure what I'm doing. 553968, 553968. Now let me see what percentage rise is there, so that we can understand is there in relation or no. Let me just check it. It's 1.75, and is this? Oh, 1.75123, 1.750557, 1.75042. Means 1.75. Let me take 3 more values. 571999, 571, 571, 999, 999, 999, and it gives me, I think, another 1.7, approximately 1.75, 345604, 345604. Also it gives same value. Then 483845, 483, 845, 483, 845, then 510893, 510893. So 8.75 again. This means there is a relation. If you take other one, 153,267 static and dynamic. Let me see, 153,267, 153, 267, and then I take also here 169296, 169296, and I also take one more, let me see, 208364, 208364, 208364, and let me take another one, 215376, 215376, and then I can say 132227, 132227, and then I can say then 182318, 182318, of course I can say 12318, 192336, 192336, 19236. Now let me see how it works. It will be clear very soon what we are talking of is. So it is 1.74, 1.74, 1.745, 1.75, 1.75, 1.75, 1.75, oh my God, what is this, the relations built in, it says that it's really interesting. This value here, static value for modulus velocity and dynamic value. Dynamic value is 75% more than static value in all these cases. Similarly here, this shear modulus, dynamic value is 75% more than the static value. That's point number one. Now let us see relation between the static values of both. That's also important point. The static values of both, which is, we can say here, this value and this value, relation of this value. Let us see relation of these values, which is, I can say, if I take here plus, no, this is minus, sorry, this minus, plus this value, over this value, or you can say this value is whatever you can say. Okay, I take this value first and then we divide by this value, so that we can say what we got, and that comes in 2.65, 2.65, it's okay, it's fine, 2.65 is okay. So that's what I said. Now this value and this value, static value in modulus velocity is 2.65 times the static value here. There's a relationship. So there's a two relationship. One relationship and static and dynamic between between static and dynamic values of modulus velocity means Young modulus velocity, where static value and dynamic value. Dynamic value is 1.75 times static value, 1.75 times static value, and shear modulus G, dynamic value, is also 1.75 times static value. That is one part. And where I see in other one, when I take this value here, static value and static value, both static values of modulus velocity and shear modulus of elasticity is 2.65 times. 2.65 times modulus of elasticity is 2.65 times static modulus, shear modulus. We can say this is another relation between two static moduluses. Modulus of elasticity is 2.65 times modulus of shear modulus, you can say. So static and dynamic relations are 1.75 times. Dynamic is static value and dynamic value is 1.75 times the static value in both cases. Dynamic value is 1.75 times static value, and in this is both cases modulus of elasticity as well as shear modulus. And also static cases in both cases, static values in both cases is 2.65 times, means 2.65 is modulus of versus static value, and that is compared to shear modulus. And let's say dynamic one, can we get dynamic value also relations? Let us see dynamic relations so that it will be more clear. Dynamic relations was 711, is it right? 711 and 267. So we can say 711 over 267. This is also 2.66. So we can say yes, it's okay, 2.65. Strange. It's very interesting to note this, saying that dynamic modulus of elasticity is also having 2.65 times dynamic shear modulus. So two relations, 1.75 times and 2.65 times. Well, it's interesting to analyze like this. So we get something sometimes maybe that report maker did it. We had to do from our viewpoint. It's very interesting just to see how it works. So we based on this, and this is real report. It's not imaginary report, real report of project, and which tells two relations, 1.75 times between two static values, and between two static and dynamic value, and that is 1.75 times. Dynamic is 1.75 times more than static value, and relations between static values, that is modulus of elasticity, is 2.65 times modulus of shear modulus in both cases, dynamic as well as static. This is what we understood from this. It's important understanding. We can say that this is something we can consider into our designs. So that is what it is. So we just move further to see how it says. It's now more. It's considered the depth of 4 meters, and you can see even values. Design SPT is 50 in some cases, 25, 20, and also 50 is very good one. We can say 50 is always considered better because it is strong soil. Of course, it is sand, but value of SPT is important. In this case also you can say 25, 50, 35, 40, 35, 50, like that. 50 is considered a good one. Then we can say here also, if you can see 40, 50, 20, 30, 35, and it says sand in the field. Let me see what it says in the previous cases. Sand all. Even value of 50 is in sand available, the sandstone it may be. Then you may say sand, and sand also here. If you take sand here, of course 20, 30, 50, then engineered fill is not doing anything. X-ray means it says while it says excavate 2 meters depth and construct engineered fill to foundation depth as in item 10.1. Lead bearing test shall be carried out at foundation level to confirm allowable bearing pressure and settlement. That is because no SPT was taken for that. So engineered fill is 1.52 values now. So then sand with silt is giving values, and in this second one here, for the second case here, it's not given here. Above net allowable bearing pressure may be increased by 30% for all transient loads such as wind, seismic or short-term leg operation loads. Also same engineered fill, same above net allowable bearing pressure, okay, may be increased by 30%. Then you can say engineered fill value is not given, means it's to be tested on site modulus of subgrade directions. Excavate 2 meter depth and construct engineered fill to foundation. Construct engineered fill to foundation depth as shown. Lead bearing test shall be carried out at foundation level to confirm allowable bearing pressure and settlement. So this is something else. Then we can say sand with silt, sand, and again, so there's something else comes in now, which is I think is different in this case. And you can say this is here, no problem, the other way around. So we can say no problem here. Once more, it's come back. It's now representative compression wave and shear wave velocities. Compression waves and shear wave material type, representative compression wave velocity meters per second, shear wave velocity meter per second. One is unsaturated sand and one is saturated sand. Then unsaturated sand and gravel and saturated sand and gravel. Now representative compression wave velocity, that is by H. Robert Berger, Exploration Geophysics of Shallow Substructure, 1992 practice, Hall INC, and double star is meter per second shear wave, that is Vs is equal to 0.4 Vc for soils. Vc 0.4 Vc. This means this is 0.4 of this. This is represented as Vc. This is Vc, and this is Vs. Shear wave, compression wave is nominated as Vc, and shear wave Vs. So what it says: unsaturated sand 200 meter to 1000 meter per second, and shear wave velocity is 40% of that. In saturated sand, compression wave velocity is 800 meter to 2200 meter per second, and shear wave is 40% of that. This means saturated sand gives more velocity chances, more wave velocity, compression wave more in case of saturated sand, and it is less in unsaturated sand. In saturated sand, 4 times start. Unsaturated sand with gravel, it is 400 to 500, approximately, much more than unsaturated sand. It is sand and gravel, and saturated sand and gravel 500 to 1500, and here it is 40% shear wave velocity. This is important one to understand. It's very important one to understand this table. This is Vc and this is shear wave Vs. Vs is 40% of this. So 200 goes to 80, 1000 goes to 400, 800 goes to 220, and this goes to 880. 400 160, 500 200, 500 200, 1500 600. So foundations subject to vibrations. Just a little glimpse of gas speed. After that we close this file. Accelerator closing, no need of this file. So I say no here, and then we have to understand. Okay. Now machinery is common cause of vibration. Machinery is common cause of vibration. Reciprocating engines, compressors, pumps, and oscillating machines are source of continuous low frequency vibrations. That is, reciprocating engines, compressors, pumps, and oscillating machines are source of continuous low frequency vibrations, whereas electric motors, rotary pumps, and turbine produce continuous high frequency vibrations. In order to design foundation subject to dynamic loads, it's necessary to determine values of G, and that is shear modulus of soil, and mu, Poisson's ratio of soil, shear modulus and Poisson's ratio of soil. However, estimated soil parameters as presented are useful in dynamic calculations. That's table number 3 and 4. We'll see the mechanism of vibrations for a body that is supported elastically, that it will vibrate at its natural frequency, which depends on its mass and elastic properties. Therefore, natural frequency for perfectly elastic body whose weight is W and resistance to deflection in force per unit of deflection, kilonewton per meter, or this per hour is K, that is K is given by weight is W and resistance to deflection force. Resistance to deflection in force per unit of deflection is K, per unit of deflection is K, that is force. Its weight is W and its weight is W, and resistance to deflection per unit, resistance to deflection force per unit deflection is K. So it says Fn, natural frequency, is equal to 1 over 2 pi multiplied by 1 over 2 pi, whatever value it is, multiplied by under root kg. K is that you can say resistance to deflection per unit, that force resistance deflection, that's kg over W. W is weight of body. General consideration designing dynamic basis. For analysis of foundation blocks subject to vibration, following should be considered in design. For operating frequency, that is FO, accompanied by a predicted resonance condition, predicted resonance condition, mass must be increased or decreased, or spring must be altered constant. Even resonance amplitude Fr is acceptable, but should not be equal to a natural frequency. This means operating frequency cannot be equal to natural frequency. Normally should be kept less than equal to plus minus 20% of Fr, that is amplitude. Adjust base to condition to make center of gravity of equipment coincide with that of foundation to give almost uniform soil pressure and static settlement. Base to condition, adjust base to a condition to make center of gravity of equipment, that is rotary equipment, coincide with that of foundation to give almost uniform soil pressure and static settlement. Static plus dynamic pressure should not exceed 75% of allowable static pressure. Means you have static pressure and dynamic pressure, both will be combined. This should not exceed 75% of allowable static pressure. Increasing width of base as much as possible will help in resisting rocking and avoiding excessive edge pressure problems. Try to provide a 300 mm clearance all around machine frame to help in maintenance or other requirements. It's seldom necessary to use high strength concrete. Means it's not necessary to use high strength concrete. Seldom necessary to use high strength concrete for vibrating bases, since mass is usually more critical than strength. However, However, characteristic strength less than 21 MB is not recommended. Got my point here? It's very important here. So what I understand from this, we can say that we are moving in different direction now. Well, I think it's an interesting one to have this kind of, you can say, this kind of, it's quality business here. But it's more important when I say subgrade evaluation and pavement consideration. I just put in this report because it was very much required in this case. We must understand this. This report is very important. This report is very important from point of view to understand practical aspect. And we'll go through this report one by one while reading this document, in which we said geotechnical survey shall include stratigraphical determinations, soil properties, tomographical seismic properties of soil, electrical properties of soil, and whatever expected to be investigated from plant installation viewpoint. Geophysical surveys shall include area, terrain investigation, and location of various landmarks, water bodies, etc., that are significant from design viewpoint. Your contractor shall carry out all engineering required for provisions of construction, accommodation camp, all construction facilities needed at construction site within plant industrial city, as well as whatever construction engineering required for work. We'll take up this later on because I want to discuss everything elaborated, not simply because I just want to discuss for matter of discussion, but to understand. We want understanding attitude, and not just because I want to discuss. So I close this file also, which will take later on. We'll close this as well now. And of course, I like to close the whole video itself. It's already 3 hours or more. 3 hours and 7 minutes. You can say that. Let's just see pages of this. We are page 3 just now. We have to move a lot in this general engineering requirement. And we have to see engineering and further like this. We have to move on and on and on. We'll see where we can stand in this. So I like to close it also here. And this, of course, this is other statements we are talking of. And these are very important points. We do it with that